Santos able to tack on the extra point. And we are tied at 14. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18.
At their own 18-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And that 14-0 lead to begin the ball game, well, that's gone now. Time to regroup.
I think even up 2 touchdowns, they knew this wasn't going to be a walk in the park, and I think that's why we would see the head coach going up and down the sidelines telling his team, let's stay with it, let's keep going. It's almost like he knew they were going to make their run at him, and they have. As you said, let's see if they can regroup and get going again.
Now a 2nd and 2. Goff now looking to throw. And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Goff to St. Brown for the Detroit first down. He's been the forgotten man in this first half. Not a guy you want to forget. Not only his first catch, first time they've targeted him.
That doesn't make any sense, does it?
Not at all.
Because those are the types of plays that he provides. When he does come alive, when they do look his way, not only is it a big catch, it's a first down.
Here's the former Bear. This is David Montgomery. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
Not too shabby for his first carry of the game. That's exactly what most teams are looking for. A really good change of pace back.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Here's Goff. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
And their back's up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Here's 2nd and 10. Here's Goff. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go over the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
Now Goff. And that is incomplete. Oh, he did everything but hold on to it. But a nice play defensively, and now it brings up 4th down.
Results in a 4th down.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up 4th down.
And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Bears are going to get the football back, and they're going to get it in great field position. Now Williams throwing to start the drive. He's got the Michigan man, Colston Loveland. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime.
A gain of 22 yards.
Now they'll audible to something else. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. Colston Loveland, 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Bears will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half. Santos with the extra point. And the lead is now 21-14.
Lions 14.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And he'll will get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line.
21-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
Tonight, like 20, Super One.
Now it's gone. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. Now a hit and a loose football. And the Lions have recovered. So that's a solid start to the second half. You come out of the lockers losing, thinking you're kicking it away, not going to have it, but boom, the fumble, they get it right back.
I don't know whether they even drew that up on the board or was it just said, but they had to have it. They needed a spark to get them going here in the second half, and they got it right away.
And they're knocking on the door now. There's a good run there. Going to take this to about the 10-yard line. So not quite a first and goal. It's first and 10 from the 10. Gone. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Jamison Williams hauling that one in from Jared Goff. And the Lions are an extra point away from evening this one up. So a strong drive here to lead off this third quarter. That has them an extra point away from tying things up.
And, partner, this is pretty much what they envisioned when they were sitting there in the locker room thinking about getting things going to start here in the third quarter. Getting out there, a field goal would have been fine. But going ahead and scoring here, an extra point away from tying things up, that's exactly how they drew it up on the board.
No problem there on the extra point. And we are tied at 21.
21 apiece.
Nothing separating these two teams on the scoreboard as the kick's away here. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds. So really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line. Looking to put a drive together. They'll run right here with Swift. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front. He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
Williams from the gun on third down. Oh, and that is incomplete.
Oh, I thought he had that one, and that was nearly a big third down conversion to give this drive some life. Instead, they're on the spot and help separate the receiver from the ball.
Here comes the Bears punter now. And surprisingly, this is the first punt of the game for either team. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that.
There he goes, right side.
He's on his way.
Touchdown, Detroit.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
His second touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Lions have scored again in this third quarter, this time to move out in front.
One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
Extra point right down the middle. And they will take a 7-point lead.
Bears 21.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
At their own 30-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Williams looking to do it himself.
Give him a couple on the scramble. It's second down.
I'm not quite sure what he thought he saw there, but the reality was certainly a much different picture than what he anticipated. And give credit to the defense. They were down on the flash when he broke out of there, and they forced him out with almost nothing to show for his efforts.
Here's 2nd and 8.
And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver.
You got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide-open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
Williams from the gun on 3rd down. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
That's an excellent job right there on 3rd down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a 1st down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's 4th down.
Taken in at the 11.
So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return.
And the Lions will take over.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
That's to about the 28. 2nd down coming up. Now a 2nd and 6.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd and 6. At the 28-yard line.
Hey, Shell.
To throw is gone. Throw to St. Brown, complete on the left side. And St. Brown going to have the Lions 1st down as the tackle made up around the 33-yard line. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
First down. First and 10 at the 47-yard line.
First down, they run again. Here's Montgomery. And he'll be taken down after a minimal pickup, and that will take us to the end of quarter number 3. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
2nd and 7. Here's Gibbs. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Down inside the 20. Wow, 204 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
Going back to Gibbs on first down.
They're going to snuff this play out behind the line. We have not seen that much today. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
180.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Goff setting up the screen. This is Gibbs.
It'll be a pickup of 8 on the screen, and it sets up a 3rd down.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
Hey, kill.
Goff going to shift him around.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Now the Bears going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They go ahead and snap it. Goff. Under pressure, and they got to him again. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And that will force a turnover on downs.
Now they'll change things around before the snap. Open man down the field. That's Burden. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
First down. It's a gain of 30.
Here's Williams.
And the Bears.
He's going to get that to Swift underneath.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam coming out of the backfield, it could turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
And this throw incomplete. Now the defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Throwing is Williams. He'll try and do this himself. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Back-to-back incompletions of what was once a nice drive, stalled out here. I'm going to give credit to the secondary partner. Never gave up as they gave up a few yards, and they came through on that play to deny that pass and force the 4th down.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Bears tried it on 4th down, unable to convert. And it'll be a turnover on downs. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Their defense forced the turnover on downs. They've got the lead. They're in good shape, but can't go into a shell here, right? Still got to be careful.
Yeah, because they're still a long way away from kneel down time. So they've got to work on getting first downs, keep the sticks moving, right? Keep the clock going. And above all, ball security. Don't turn it over.
And he'll find some room to get this up to about the 14. A tight game like this, such a tough spot for the offense to be in. Even though they have the lead, Charles, back up so close to their goal line, they got to protect the football.
And that's when you have to take care of your team with play calling as well. Not a lot of misdirection, not a lot of counters, not a lot of plays where you have extra ball handling. Get it right to the hands of your running back, tell him to take care of the ball, and try and move forward. How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a fourth down. Well done.
On fourth down, gone.
He'll get that complete to the rookie from Arkansas. And he will have a Lions first down, and that's the one that should seal a victory.
Now the Bears will use their third and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down.
Straight ahead with Gibbs here.
Down the numbers. There he goes. Touchdown, Detroit.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
71 yards.
And the Lions use the big play.